when this happened, what did that moment mean to you personally and professionally?
I would say I was full of gratitude. It was humbling, but I do think as a leader, you don't just, the title is there, right? But you are a leader way before you receive a title
100%.
in my opinion. So while I was beyond grace, humbled and all the things, before I received that title, I was already that title.
Right. So, Hey there, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of The Diligent Leader. I'm one of your hosts, Kalie Jakovics.
And I'm Basta.
And thanks so much for joining us today. We have a special guest, the COO, Shannon Harcum, of Visit Annapolis in Arundel County, who is also the Executive Director of Visit Annapolis and Arundel County Foundation. So, Shannon, thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you and, tell our listeners a little bit more about your role, your leadership. I was learning more about you as we went through this process. I was like, wow, she does a lot from finance, operations, so tons of things. So tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got started and how you got to visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County.
Sure, certainly. Again, thank you both for having me.
Yeah.
So early on in my career, I was working in Maryland at UMES, University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And then I went up to the Adirondacks in New York as an executive leader of North Country Community College. And I was like, man, I really want to get back to the shore. I really want to get focused back into finance and HR, but from the shore. I'm saying the shore, but it's not the shore, from Maryland, Eastern Shore area. This position became available, and at the time it was a senior director of finance and administration, and I went for it. I was like, I'm going to go for it. I read up online about all that it entailed, and I just went for it.
Okay,
and so that's what landed me here.
And you've been, you said, how long have you been with them?
Yes, I've been with the organization for 5 years.
Okay, but is it the executive director position that's
No,
new? It's the COO.
So the COO and the executive director position with the foundation is very new.
Oh, gotcha.
So
okay, very exciting.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we hear you're doing great things.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. So I'm interested to hear a little bit more about what drew you back to this area in particular, because it is a very unique place to live, work, and do business. And in particular, Annapolis is very unique. So talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So Annapolis, as you have stated, is very unique. Is, the quiet peacefulness, the water is there, so scenic, right? Particularly, all my family is from Delaware, from that part, So seeing this position, I was like, well, it's close to home. I read a lot about the organization, the destination marketing organization, never understood what that meant until I became involved with the organization and did my studying. So that's what drew me into it.
For our listeners today, can you give us an overview about Visit Annapolis in Anne Arundel County and what the organization entails?
Visit Annapolis in Anne Arundel County is the destination marketing organization for Anne Arundel County. Specifically, we promote the destination to attract visitors, tourists to our destination. Not only just in Anne Arundel County, but also through the state of Maryland. And why I say the state of Maryland is because we are opening up a welcome center at BWI.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yeah, that's exciting. We're so close to, the airport. You have a lot of destinations that are within driving distance for travelers who might be here on a layover or, they're coming to this area to visit and they want to maximize their experience. So
Absolutely.
Annapolis is so close and there's always something going on. So I love that you're reaching out to people that are coming in to the airport who might not even know that some of those kind of events are taking place.
Absolutely. When you come in, you're thinking about what am I here to do? Whether it's a conference, whether it's seeing family, a sporting event. The Welcome Center is truly to promote the entire destination of what you could be here to do.
Right.
Most people don't realize that the BWI airport is in Anne Arundel County.
Yeah.
Most people think, well, it's in Baltimore. It says Baltimore. No, it's in Anne Arundel County. So, and not only that, most people, when you're traveling in, you don't care about county lines. You could care less. You just want to know What is it that you're trying to?
Where am I trying to go?
Exactly. Where are you trying to go? Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're here to direct you in other paths.
That's so exciting about the Welcome Center because I've recently noticed I travel a lot, you know, for work and fun, but I've been seeing a lot of your ads at the airport and it's all over the place. I'm like, dang, they were really killing it. It's like as soon as I get off the plane, it's like visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County, like all these things. So I think even having that Welcome Center as well,
Yes.
you know, and, you know, for your partners and things, you can say, hey, this is a great space where people can come and figure out where they need to go, what they want to do, and you're
Absolutely.
promoting that. So
Absolutely. I'm glad that you said that. I'm sure that the director of marketing will be glad to hear that as well.
Yeah.
But it's very strategic in that way. Not only just having the advertisement throughout the BWI, but also have the Welcome Center to usher them along to where they should go at. For
where
all
will
information.
sorry, we're really getting into this Welcome
No, you're
Center,
fine.
but
I
where
love
will
it.
it be? I'm curious.
It is going to be at Baggage Claim.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, all right, so I was going to like
Perfect.
usher you out and then it's going to be right there.
Absolutely.
That's what I was imagining, but I
Absolutely.
didn't know. Okay.
No, that's
Yes.
perfect. I think it's great because, you know, tourism and travel tourism, destination tourism, as you mentioned, are some of the top economic drivers in the state of Maryland. So why not access that high visibility area of all those travelers coming through the airport to sort of, you know, showcase your offerings? And I'd
Absolutely.
be willing to bet there's probably family members who are picking up the travelers from the airport that probably didn't even know
Oh,
that some of these
100%.
things
Yes.
exist
That's
so
what I-
close to
that's-
home.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too as I was like going through the airport and seeing all that. I'm like, this is going to be amazing for the
Yes.
people that even live here, you know,
Mhm.
and don't think about it or, you know, where can I find this information or what to do is
And
crazy.
we're more than willing to be that hub of
Yeah.
information. We will have a mobile kiosk out front of the Welcome Center. So should the hours, of course, the airport runs 24 hours. We cannot run 24 hours. So we do have a kiosk that we'll be able to click on and ask any questions, itineraries, all the things while we're not there.
I'm going to be using that just to check it out. Hopefully be like, everyone use this who gets off my
Yes.
plane.
We have to stop over and see
Yeah.
it. So
I know.
will they have merchandise available at the Welcome
Not
Center?
at first. Not at first. It will be a curated space, so we'll have activations there. For instance, if the National Club of Flower Association comes through, we will have a curated space for that. So as you're coming in for a conference, you'll see like welcome, whoever you are, to our destination.
Wow, that's really targeted marketing. So I love that.
I want to get a little bit into leadership and growth because, again, we were saying you have a very impressive background and you're now, you know, recently promoted to CEO, serving as the executive director of the foundation. When this happened, what did that moment mean to you personally and professionally?
I would say I was full of gratitude. It was humbling, but I do think as a leader, you don't just, the title is there, right? But you are a leader way before you receive a title
100%,
in my
yeah.
opinion. So while I was beyond grace, you know, humbled and all the things, before I received that title, I was already that title. If that
Right,
makes
yep.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it meant to me. Just truly grateful.
Was there anyone in your background or, you know, who was sort of a mentor to you or was an inspiration for the work that you're finding yourself doing now?
So funny enough, my husband early on, he used to listen to a few motivational speakers, Jim Rohn, George Zelicki, and Les Brown. And I used to be so
Les
annoyed. Like, why are we listening to this in a car ride? Like, I want to listen to Jay-Z, Beyonce.
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to this. So at first I was like, I'm not really enjoying this, but years pass, and he'll be surprised to hear me say that. But years pass, 10 years down the road, I find myself listening to Jim Rohn. And one thing that Jim Rohn has often discussed is like not being a tree. Like you shouldn't just be a tree. You have to be able to move and cultivate your leadership and all those things. And that truly was my awakening moment, my aha moment. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, and it's more to professionalism and leadership than just being stagnant.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to continuously learn and grow and move,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And, you know, listening to all those for the years, it probably, like, subconsciously, you know, was also just
I think
being
so.
there to build that up. I listen to, like, meditations and all these things and leadership things. And I honestly think that helps too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I find myself listening to Dr. Brene Brown quite often. I think she's quite funny.
So, you know, in your roles, I guess, what does day-to-day look like for you? I'm curious.
Oh, wow. So day-to-day, so outside of ensuring that the organization runs effectively and strategically, I oversee finance, HR, destination experience, and the executive director of the foundation. So any day could be anything. Being able to juggle or being able to prioritize many tasks at one time.
That's a lot of responsibility, but it's probably, I mean, maybe you have a different opinion, but probably refreshing because it might be something new every day that you get to tackle.
It
or
is.
New challenge. Yeah.
It's absolutely that. I enjoy every moment of it. You know, the highs and the lows and just all things in between.
Yeah.
Well, you've already identified one major leadership skill, and that's prioritization.
Yes.
In your day-to-day work. But what leadership skills beyond that become most important when you're sort of moving from managing different departments and different things and wearing all these different hats all day?
I would say communication and adaptability. Communication from the executive level on down, as well as adaptability based upon what can arise. It's important for me to be able to communicate with my team, communicate with other leaders, and being able to adapt to change very quickly. I think as you grow in leadership roles, it becomes less about being perfect, but more, absolutely a lot more awareness of the complexity of issues and being able to navigate through those complexities.
Yeah, being able to navigate, adapt. I guess, how do you build that trust internally across your teams during periods of growth?
That's a great question. Building trust is truly just listening. We have a great leader, our CEO, Kristen Peronis. She created a vibe team. And what the vibe team does is they go through and they say, okay, you know what? The team really needs to get out together. Yeah. That's without us having our input. And that vibe team, they create the vibe.
Vibe team,
yes.
I love that.
So it's like the morale crew.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
the
exactly
vibe
that.
team. I like
It's
vibe
exactly
team better.
Vibe check.
Yes.
Company vibe check.
Yes.
I love that.
So
They're like the pep squad.
Yes.
For you guys.
So it's truly like being intentional about listening to the team, and it's worked tremendously. It's truly shown us how the team is coming together. It's truly shown us how they react to us, and we're a team. We're all a team. We're just really cohesive.
Yeah.
I love that too because I think in many instances where we've talked to people and we talk to many different people in our travels, but sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect from the top to the mid-level folks. And, you mentioned listening being a key priority for leaders because, if you're not able to read the room,
Absolutely.
You're not able to recognize that your people are burnt out or that you can just tell that when you're talking to them about something, they don't have that same enthusiasm that you might want them to have or that you yourself might have.
Yes.
But it's important to listen, to pay attention to what's going on, and then hit it head on.
Absolutely.
We're not going to pretend like everybody's not aggravated and burnt out. So we're going to have the vibe crew come in here and figure out what we need to do to get things bumped up.
So I'm taking notes. So for my team, we're going to have a vibe check, vibe check Fridays.
Maybe we need the vibe. We need the vibe crew to come visit us. Come on, Joe.
You guys should offer that for some type of operation.
I will bring that back.
That would be fun. All right, moving into workforce development and the future of hospitality. The foundation was launched to help strengthen workforce development and innovation in hospitality and tourism. Why is that so important right now?
I believe that is so important based upon the emerging pipelines of the workforce, right? It's absolutely evolving at a fast rate. However, people aren't too certain about what hospitality and tourism means. Like when you hear it, you think hotels, think tourists, you think vacations. Yeah. It's like, what truly is hospitality and tourism? So I think for the workforce as a whole, as it's emerging, it's important for us to stand in the gap of that and ensure that people and young adults are informed.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like a lot of people, with what you're saying, like they hear hospitality and they're not necessarily thinking tourism, economic development, but there's so many things that go into that
Yes.
behind the counties, cities,
Yes.
states.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It is.
good
And
work that you
it's
guys are
exciting.
doing. Yeah.
You know, you think tourism and hospitality is not a boring job. It's fast paced and it's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know what are some of the biggest challenges to the workforce development at this point? And in particular, again, this area has some unique challenges. I think transportation wise, and you mentioned parking can be difficult. So, what are the biggest barriers to sort of getting the workforce development where we need to be at this point?
Absolutely. I agree with you. Transportation is probably like number one. Childcare is probably going to hit at number two. We have some great population dense areas like around live casino. So those areas that have the live casinos there, you have restaurants there. There's opportunity for workforce to expand in that area. However, if no one is bringing it up to the forefront to say that there's positions there, there's growth paths there, that it is a true entry level, and you could go up to a high executive level position, then there's no knowledge for anybody to even consider that as an opportunity.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree. Outreach is really important, and very targeted outreach to, meet people where they are and let them know that there's opportunities available. So I think
Absolutely.
that's really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are there, I guess, certain career pathways?
Yeah, so to create career pathways instead of just filling jobs, it's a little bit harder than it's a little bit easier said than done. You have to be intentional. You have to ensure that okay, I want this person to start off as an apprentice or an intern, and where do you want this person to go to end at? It takes a lot of curating, in my opinion, but if it's important to you, you would do just that.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess you've also helped lead some other initiatives like the Hospitality and Tourism Career Fair. Can you tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that and just any other initiatives you have going on?
Yeah, so the Hospitality and Tourism Career Fair, we partner with AAWDC, and Arundel
them.
Workforce Development.
Yeah.
Yes, love them. And it's truly a partnership and to get other businesses within the tourism and hospitality industry in one location to provide all their opportunities at one space. It was a huge success. We had, of course, high schools there, young adults, and even entry-level positions
okay, wow.
offered.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Any other initiatives that you have going on that you want to share today?
Sure. We have the Backstage Pass Program that will be, it has already launched. This program is designed to create exposure for young adults entering into workforce, to provide them with an opportunity to learn more about tourism and hospitality through the back end. So that's why it's called Backstage Pass. Give them a field trip and insights on the back end of things.
Yeah. Oh, that's very exciting. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about sustainability, and in particular in regards to leadership. So the city of Annapolis is always improving itself and doing new things and being innovative. So I just wanted to hear a little bit from you as far as how does your organization plan to lead the way as far as promoting Annapolis as destination tourism in a place where there's so much to do besides just staying in a hotel. And a lot of these events, they're economic drivers to the hotels, the restaurants, the local businesses that, are up and down West Street and some of the other places in Ego Alley.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about that.
So our organization, we just launched last year. We spearheaded an international effort. So we are now international.
Oh,
So it's a little global.
We're an
globally.
international destination.
International.
Love
Maybe I'll
that.
bring that back as a different name. But no. So as it relates to promoting and innovating, that's one of the paths that we have taken. Once people get into our destination, we have curated packages. Our sales team is phenomenal. They curate everything. They want to ensure that a person, not just to curate, but also ensuring that once you arrive to Anne Arundel County, you truly get the destination experience from Annapolis all the way down to South County. We have so much to offer, and we don't want to just box ourselves in.
Right. Okay, that's really, I didn't even think like South County, obviously.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I love the fact that you're doing these packages because I did see a package, I won't say where, but it was something that I myself was looking at, not in Annapolis, but in a different city. And I just thought that's so smart because it is a destination that is typically geared towards children and families, but it's also something that if you've gone with your kids, you might want to go just as an adult where you have a different experience, with your significant other or a friend or something. And they had this whole package where it was, dinner, and then you go to the event and you've got your hotel room, and everything was figured out. So it seemed like something that you really want to find out more about.
Absolutely. That's what we want everyone to have, that same level of excitement that you have. Just being able to say, hey, maybe I want to take the kids here. Maybe not. Maybe I just want to go with my husband.
Right. Or your husband.
I like that too.
Now, for the partners or the businesses that are maybe doing marketing or partnering with you, that they want to get involved and maybe be featured, highlighted as one of the recommendations, how can they go about doing so?
They would connect with our partnerships team to learn more. You could do so by going to visitannapolis.org and click on the button that says partnerships.
So one thing that really stands out about the foundation's work is the connection between tourism and the community, and particular investment. So talk a little bit about why that's so important.
I didn't realize how important it was until the foundation was formed. And you really, truly see that the investment into the community is about workforce. It's about really aligning the tourism jobs and ensuring that the community feels supported. The community, of course, is supported through the visitor experience. We understand that, as you've been saying the entire show, there's an economic driver. But beyond the numbers, what does that mean? And that's what the foundation is here to support, beyond the numbers.
With that, what does it look like to intentionally create exposure and opportunity for young people? You've talked about it a little bit, but it seems like it's really one of your missions that you guys have.
Absolutely. So creating that pathway is really going into the high schools and colleges and informing students about tourism and hospitality. But not only that, but just showing them what that looks like. So taking the Backstage Pass and going into a hotel or into a tourist destination and showing them the behind the scenes of how things truly function and run.
What does it look like to intentionally create exposure and opportunity for young people? You've talked about it a few times already today. It's obviously an important mission for your organization.
It's truly showing them, high school students and college students and even middle school students, what careers are in hospitality and tourism through the backstage. Backstage meaning in back of the office, so they could see finance, marketing, social media teams. They could truly see how they run and how they work. To create that exposure, to create that excitement with them so that they feel like, oh man, I want to learn more. That's what we're trying to get them to the edge of the seat. I want to learn more.
Yeah, and they're probably just not aware that some of those options are available to them. So I can see them getting, I would get excited at that age. Like, well, I didn't even know this was a possibility.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
So when people leave this conversation today, what's the main message that you want them to take away from our conversation?
I would say tourism is an economic driver overall throughout the entire conversation that we've had today. And to realize that tourism is much more than just a vacation.
Absolutely. I would agree with that. That's great.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like a tourist when I'm in Annapolis.
I am always finding something new to do in Annapolis and honestly the county. I live in Anne Arundel County and it's like never ending things to do. So
I love that.
Yeah, it is my favorite county.
Yes.
No offense to the others out there,
I love
but
that you
I
said
live
that.
here. So does she.
I love it. That's what was John Shannon back down here
I
from the
love
mountains.
it.
She's wanting to
Exactly.
experience everything that this area has.
Absolutely.
Well, we have just a few minutes left, so we have a couple more questions. But Shannon, what kind of legacy do you hope to leave with the work that you're doing in Anne Arundel County?
I hope that it creates additional career pathways. I hope that the legacy that I leave is one of intentionality, not one of humbleness, absolutely, and gratitude, but definitely one that is intentional about the career pathways that we create.
Okay. And I have another question really quickly too. So this area, and in particular Annapolis, is so rich in history. And there's so many things, that you don't know until you know. So I was just curious to hear from you about how the history of the area plays a part in the development of some of these destination themes and packages and, like an educational sort of complex to this.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you asked that question. I would say that it depends on your partnership, right? And creating those partnerships with, it's not just us. We can't do everything alone. It's certainly not us just doing everything, but partnering with the Banneker Douglas Tubman Museum for that history aspect, partnering also with Maritime Museum, Historic Annapolis. All those play a great part in ensuring that we create and tell the correct history. Of course, as a destination marketing and management organization, it's important for us to bring our partners along so that they could help us with curating that package to tell that history.
Thank you.
Yeah, to tell that story. I love that.
Yes, yes.
All right, as we're closing, we have some questions so our audience can get to know you a little bit better. We kind of talked a little maybe about mentorship, but is there advice or some type of advice that you've received that you would like to share that has helped you as a leader?
I will say that our CEO often says, when you fail spectacular.
Ooh.
And that has stuck with me. That's one thing that I can't do because I'm in finance and HR, but it lands home, right? Yeah. Just make sure that when you do it. Do it
and on to the next.
Absolutely, yeah. But don't do it again.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. All right, and then great. Is there a book, podcast, or resource that has influenced you either recently or maybe in the past? I know you said you listen to a lot of leaders and things.
Absolutely. So recently I've been listening to the Diligent Leader podcast.
Oh,
I do want to give you all that.
I love that.
I had to look at past interviews, but outside of that, I do love TED Talks. I love Dr. Brene Brown, Simon Sinek, Adam Grant. There's quite a bit that I listen to.
Okay. Wow. All right. You really feel like you're listening to it all the time. I need a list.
Yeah. So if people want to learn more about the Backstage Pass Program, or they want to connect with you personally or learn more about the Visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County Foundation, how can they do that?
Absolutely. They could go to the website, visitannapolis.org, click on Foundation, and you'll see my contact information right there.
Well, we'll be sure to share your information, and we want to thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to get to know you, and our viewers are going to love this information as well.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Diligent Leader. I'm one of your hosts, Basta, along with
Kalie Jakovics.
And we want to thank our guest, Shannon Harcum from Visit Annapolis and Anne Arundel County. We've learned so much today about a lot of different things that are going to be happening, and we're excited to talk to her about leadership. We can't wait for you to hear it as well. So if you like this episode today, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to The Diligent Leader. Again, I'm Basta with Mojo along with Kalie Jakovics. Thanks for joining.